Hey, welcome to the No Name Podcast. We're working on it right now, trying to come up with a name, but this is our very first podcast. We're excited to be here. This is going to be a Monday afternoon thing. Just want to welcome myself. I'm Sean.
I'm Zach.
And we're excited to just have our normal Monday afternoon conversation about how the games went and everything. And we're just excited to bring you a little bit of what we talk about on a normal basis.
Yeah, you know, how this all started was every Monday, Sean and I will kind of have a phone call, mostly about how bad the Seahawks defense is, but we'll talk about that later. And, you know, we just like to go back and forth and have some fun and kind of do some cool stuff too and talk about cool stuff. And we want to share it with you guys as well. So we'll see where it goes.
We will see where it goes. So,
Sean, give us, I mean, this is a business podcast too. I mean, we're going to talk a lot about sports, but give us a positive, something to start the day with when it comes to business. What do you got for us?
Well, I think number one, you have to be consistent in whatever you're doing and then stay positive. Consistency and positivity are the best way. If you're living in a negative space, I think you're going to struggle. Those are tough spots to get out of. So positivity is huge.
That's true. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I would agree. I was really in a negative space after yesterday. After yesterday's game.
I appreciate the opportunity to make me bring some knowledge.
You know, but I couldn't tell you what a dark place my mind went to yesterday after watching Chubba Hubbard. Is that his name, Chubba Hubbard? Take it to us in the game yesterday. But anyway,
we're giving up. Well, as a Seahawks team, we're giving up over 222 yards of rushing offense. That's not even complete offense. That's rushing offense a game. And I can't see us winning another game if we don't learn how to stop the run, especially with the Niners coming in that just abused a Tampa Bay team that they have a good defense. And the Niners with Mr. Purdy, he was looking Purdy all day. He threw some nice throws, but I mean they rushed for over 200 yards with I can't remember the running back's name from Carolina.
I can't remember his name either. It's kind of a
It doesn't matter. He's a Niner. But
it doesn't matter who's playing for the Niners. It could be me going in there playing quarterback, you at running back, and it seems like they've always got a great team.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a guy like Garoppolo, for instance, who can come in and has this chiseled jaw that he had worked on, by the way, that's not real. Him and Brady, those are fake jaw lines that they've had redone. And
I mean, I'm convinced that Brady, he's just transformed into that. I don't think he's had surgery or.
Well, he's single and ready to mingle. Let's be honest. He's out there in the real world, ready to go.
Speaking of that, do you think that Brady goes to the Niners next year?
No, they didn't want him. They didn't want him 3 years ago when he came to Tampa.
Yeah.
And they still don't want him because why would you bring in a guy like Brady who's breaking all those Microsoft paths, right? And you can bring in a guy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the thing is you've got to really increase your budget for the iPads. If you bring Brady in, you got to make sure you have an increased budget for that.
Can teams afford that with what they're paying?
Or you need to have some sort of cover on those so that if he throws them, they last. So,
how did you feel? I mean, I know we gave up a lot of yards on the Seahawks, but I think this was obviously Geno's worst game as a starter, a full-time starter with the Hawks after Mr. Let's Ride Russell Wilson left. I don't even know if he knows who he is today.
Let's talk about them getting bounced from the playoffs yesterday and how much time they'll have to ride in the offseason.
Yeah.
They can ride a lot.
Wilson may have got hit so hard he doesn't even remember how bad a season it's been.
That was my favorite thing that happened yesterday was watching the Broncos lose again, knowing that we're going to wrap up a second pick, or maybe a second or third pick in the draft.
Yeah.
But first of all, we got to clarify. You called him Geno, but we really know what his real name is. Can you clarify that for us?
Eugene. We've done some research, guys. This isn't just a show where we're talking. We do research on the show, and Geno's first name is Eugene.
Yep.
He's Smith the third, by the way.
Doesn't surprise me, and he's an English major. There's that.
Yeah, he ain't right back.
He worked a little bit. He worked a little bit more on writing back yesterday. He wrote a little bit yesterday.
I got to tell you, I didn't want to write anyone back after that game yesterday. I got a lot of text messages and just wanted to climb into a.
Yeah, I was pretty emotional after that.
I mean, Carolina has 4 wins.
Yeah.
You just can't expect to be a playoff team and lose to a 4-team.
As far as Geno, I think Geno, I felt as much as he had a bad game, I felt like he had a good game too. I mean, we relied on the pass game so much in that game, obviously with Kenneth Walker out. But it's been happening for 2-3 weeks now where we're not able to run the ball. Geno's passing the ball 35 times a game, and the one thing that hurt was the pick in the beginning. I mean, that was worst case scenario.
We gave up 10 points on turnovers.
Yeah.
And you take 10 points off their score, we win that game 24-20. But you can't.
We're just relying on
those things are going to happen.
On the pass.
Yeah.
Unable to rush the ball right now.
The key is we are getting beat up on both sides of the ball. We can't run the ball and we can't stop the run. So that's the biggest thing. But we had a 4-game stretch where we looked like the Legion of Boom for 4 games, and now we're just a Geno-led team, and we were riding the back of a backup lifetime quarterback, who, by the way, I was impressed with him last week when somebody said, your trials and tribulations in life, how do you feel about those? And he said, my trials and tribulations are someone else's blessings.
I mean,
that'd be their dream
since we're
come
on
true.
That subject, and we do talk about business and we talk about God too every now and then. But that's spoken from a true potential Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Geno Smith.
No,
Eugene. I do like that.
Eugene.
I really did like that too. I mean, seems like he's had a lot of great perspective, been able to gain a lot of great perspective.
I almost became Owens, and started crying and saying, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
Oh, man.
I heard Owens, by the way.
Can we cut that?
But I heard Owens beat somebody up the other day.
I heard he's trying to get on the 49ers. I heard he's saying, hey, I'm available.
I'm not sure anybody can beat up the 49ers right now.
It doesn't matter who's on the 49ers. Like we said, it could be me playing wide receiver, and I could put up 12 receptions and 100 yards.
It's really hard to tell how many people in our area are 49ers fans because you only hear from them when they're winning, which they are right now. But when they're losing, you don't hear a word. Like
they don't write back.
Drop.
They don't write back.
No, they don't write back.
And I feel their pain too because I don't want to write back when we lose, which is often.
I think that we have to talk about the best teams in the league right now, or at least the NFC where the Seahawks are at. We could talk about, but
NFC top teams, yeah,
top teams. Eagles.
I mean, number one has to be Eagles by far.
By far.
I mean, they're the only team winning every game. Not every game, but almost every game, just with full. It doesn't look like they have a weakness. Am I right? Or
no, they don't, because that quarterback can either drop dimes or he's running for 10, 15 yards every carry, and they have a running game, and their defense looked really impressive yesterday against a pretty good Giants team. I think that's shown that they can compete with some of the teams in the league. But you know who I'm disappointed in, and I'm sure that Minnesota is very disappointed. Here we go again. But the Vikings, how do you lose to the Lions?
Man, I'll tell you what, though, the Lions are good. Lions are good. They are coming.
I like their coach, and I hope that they don't fire this guy because he just brings a lot of energy. I think he really does care. And I know that the NFL is just, they don't give anybody a chance. If you're losing, you're out.
Yeah. I agree, but I think that he's got it. I mean, I would assume he's safe at this point. I mean, they've won, I think, 5 of 6, is it?
Is it about as safe as the real estate market right now?
It's probably it's definitely a lot safer than the real estate market, and has a lot more consistency than than interest rates. So I think he's in good shape. Yeah. But they're a young, good team. But Eagles are definitely best team in the NFC, maybe even the whole NFL at this point. But
better than Dallas?
I mean, you got to think so after yesterday. I mean, Texans are coming off. They're just playing terrible against everyone they play, and all of a sudden you saw a pretty good football team yesterday.
Yeah, they played well. I think Dallas, I don't know how they didn't get it going, but my second favorite team in the NFL is actually anybody playing the Cowboys. So I was a huge Texans fans yesterday, but of course they blew it in the end, similar to the Seahawks. And
got to give love to the 49er fans out there. I will say the only thing worse than a 49er fan is a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Absolutely.
The only thing worse, make one good play, one good win, and all of a sudden they're God's great gift to the earth, and that's kind of my takeaway from anything Cowboys for me. Yeah. So it's good to see them. I thought that they were going to beat the Texans, and I thought that was going to give us a chance to get the number 1 pick in the draft from the Broncos. But
think about it.
Dak Prescott came away in the end.
Next year, when the season starts, it'll be 10 years from the time that the Seahawks won our first Super Bowl. And that's 10 years. That seems like a long time, but could you imagine being a 49er or a Cowboys fan? Woo!
Man, that's a long time. That's a long time.
No
what
wonder.
Has it been 30 years?
No wonder
the
they
Cowboys?
pound their
25
chest
years for the
when
Cowboys?
they get a victory. But
man,
I don't want to
tell you what. I mean, I don't know if this will come out before Thursday, but we're coming. We're coming this Thursday.
But let's talk about Thursday.
Yeah.
How do you think the Seahawks' chances are?
Man, I think they're about 0.
Seriously, I'm right there with you. Before yesterday's game, I thought, okay, let's get past Carolina. That's a huge game on Thursday. We're going to give it everything that we have. I think we got a good shot at winning that game at home and really giving the Niners a run for their money. But after losing to Carolina and then even back up 2 weeks ago and losing to the Raiders in overtime, I'm just getting tired of catching these teams that are like, Derek Carr cries and the Raiders come in and they get on a 3-game winning streak. Of course, we got to be one of the teams that they beat. Tom Brady's divorce gets final. We lose to him. He's free. He's got a new girlfriend. I'm assuming they're showing pictures all over the internet, but you can't believe everything you hear on the internet other than this podcast. But that and then who else? Carolina. They go through 3 starting quarterbacks.
They got a new coach. Sam Darnold. All of a sudden, he's somehow
He's
good.
the second coming of Geno Smith.
We're the team that if you want your player that hasn't done anything all year to finally do something, that's the team we're turning into. And yeah, we seem to be the team that everybody beats, and then that team's having an emotional high. Like you go to Tampa, they beat us. Then you think all the Buccaneers fans are saying, "We're back, we're gonna have this great season," and then they get crushed by the Niners.
Crushed.
And so that tells me that we couldn't beat the Bucs.
Was it 35 to nothing?
Or the Niners just crushed the Bucs with Purdy at quarterback, which went to my high school in Arizona, by the way, Perry High School.
Oh, well, whoa.
Yeah, got to throw that out there. But
this is why Zach's such a good golfer, because he grew up in Arizona playing 24/7, where obviously the weather we're having right now, no one's playing any golf.
But the key when you play 24/7 is that you have to improve. Unlike Sean, who plays 24/7 during the summer, and no improvement to the game.
I mean, I still beat a lot of people out there, and you know who you are.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, no, I'm not very good. I golf in the 80s, no big deal.
No, you're not. But anyway, I think that's the team we're turning into. It just seems like Pete comes out every week and he's like, he'll go, oh yeah, we overcompensated. We thought they were going to run the ball. And we thought if we'd shut them down, it just seems like they end up overcompensating so much that they allow the other side of it to do well.
I mean, on one hand, you could say, why are we not prepared? Why isn't the coaching doing better? And then on the other hand, you could say, we have no business. Well, at the start of the year, I think we thought, let's beat the Broncos. That's our Super Bowl. Let's play for the draft pick and get next year going, because we're probably going to struggle. And I think that we beat some playoff teams. We beat the hot Detroit Lions. We beat the Chargers. We beat the Broncos.
The Chargers looked good last night. The Chargers looked good, and we beat them good.
Russell Wilson had 3 touchdowns yesterday.
We beat the Broncos, which is undoubtedly one of the better teams in the AFC.
Oh, clearly. With that defense, second best defense in the league.
And we beat a Rams led by John Wolford. I mean that played a lot. So
huge win.
Here we are at
huge win.
14, and I'm at week 15, and I'm just, I will say, it's been. If we would have said we'd be 7-6 right now,
winning
record, of the year
record,
we would have been, but
second in the division, and sniffing at the playoffs. We were in it till the loss. If we won yesterday, we are sitting at the 6th seed.
Yep.
But that's the tough part about being a Seahawk fan is if woulda, shoulda, coulda, and all of our losses were by 1 score or less. So I mean that looks good for next year. I think
the
clearly
Seahawks trying to get into the playoffs is a little bit like interest rates right now. You're a buyer, you're sitting there, you're going, maybe I can afford to buy that house. And you get just enough attached where you get excited, and then the rates go up, and then we can't afford it anymore. That's the Hawks right now.
That's the Hawks.
Just enough to get excited to get into the playoffs.
It could be even last year's market.
Hey, we're going to get into the playoffs. We're going, and we get this win this week against the Panthers. We're going all the way, or maybe not all the way, but to the playoffs. And then we just get disappointed. We just get let down.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of parity in the league for sure. I mean, the Dolphins are definitely surprising. The Bills we knew were going to be there. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, that throw he made yesterday.
Oh,
I mean, where he just flipped it.
Man.
That's just stupid. I think they practiced it because you look. He just did a no look the whole way. Ran out of bounds, head straight ahead.
Man, he is. He's something else. He is something else.
Yeah, those teams are amazing. But other than that, I mean, the South, Tennessee, their whole division, they stink. The Jaguars just crushed them.
Yeah, man.
So I don't know.
Let's talk about that. I mean, there's no doubt. If there's not a lot of things that get me motivated to get me up in the morning, and I'm a pretty self-motivated person. So I don't usually listen to any motivational
Well, look at the way you're dressed today. I mean,
Earl, what's the really motivational guy?
Earl Thomas from the Seahawks?
Love Earl Thomas. I can't remember the other guy's name, but it's Earl something. Anyway.
Earl Campbell.
Let's talk about how motivating Trevor Lawrence is to his teammates.
Oh, gosh. When he puts his hair in his ponytail, I think the guys know he came to play.
I mean, you've seen the video. You guys have seen the video. I mean, of him trying to motivate his teammates, and
I mean,
this is him.
Maybe we need to start doing polls like who thinks that we should raise a little money for him to afford a haircut. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Or raise a little bit of money for him to get excited about something. I mean, man.
Yeah.
Comes out of the huddle. All right, guys. Let's go win this thing today.
We definitely won't have him as a guest on our podcast. We may have Brady or even Eugene Smith III.
Yep.
But definitely not going to have Trevor
Eugene
Lawrence.
comes on the podcast, he's wearing something like this. You know what I mean? He's looking good.
We were going to have Russell Wilson as a guest today, but, with him hurting his head yesterday, he was unable to be with us. So we apologize. You're just going to have us today.
That's how low Russell's career has gotten. Is he can't get on any other podcast. He can't get anywhere else, but he can come here. And at least he knows somebody wants him on his show,
Yeah, we talked to him. Let's ride.
Hey, let's ride. Bronco Country, let's ride.
Bronco Country, let's ride.
But yeah, I think it's been a frustrating but also a really good year. I heard this today on Brock and Salk. I think it's called. Do you think Tyler Lockett has a chance to be the best Hawks wide receiver of all time? Not right now. Just is he working his way there?
I think stats wise, if he stays with the team, because we live in the age of free agency, where back when even like a Steve Largent was there. I don't know. Steve Largent's an icon, right? No matter even with his numbers, and he
we all know that I wasn't around back then because I'm young and good looking and in shape and young. But we know that you were, but you were around.
I'm still something to be reckoned with.
So I don't know much about Steve Largent, but
thanks for pointing that out.
You were probably about 32, 33 when he was in his prime. So
they're gonna like somebody more than the other on the podcast, and he just. Maybe that takes you to the top. I don't know.
Yeah.
At least I didn't come dressed Pastor Davis here today.
More? Yeah.
Pastor, would you lead us in a prayer today?
Oh man, but I would say that's probably it's going to be hard to catch Steve Largent.
Yeah, he's an icon. He's in the Hall of Fame. Tyler Lockett, has he had a Hall of Fame career? He's not even going to
get into the Hall of Fame, I wouldn't think.
I don't know how you can call him the all-time greatest. I mean, with numbers, yeah, you got to say he's got the best numbers. But
he's very underrated, though. He doesn't get much attention at all. Yeah, maybe we got to have him on the show too. I mean, he's got his real estate license.
Of all the people that I've seen play wide receiver, with the exception of who's the guy in Arizona.
Larry Fitzgerald?
No, they're stud. They have right now. Hopkins right now. And then, Lockett. And then, who else really could drag the toes for a big guy, too? The guy that was with Atlanta forever. Their big wide receiver. Julio Jones. Yeah. Man. Those guys, Lockett, those two guys, nobody drags the toes like those guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Lockett can stay. He can keep up with the best of them for sure.
And
but I think you're right. If he doesn't get into the Hall of Fame, there's no way he can keep up with Largent. I mean, there's something else,
Largent's an icon. They're still selling his jersey, and he played in the '80s. Yeah. When we get to the 2040s, will Lockett's jersey still be being sold? I can't see it happening.
No. You better believe it won't be.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tyler.
Sorry, Tyler.
So let's talk about. Let's again focus on this week's game. What do you think? What do you think final score? Give us a final score.
Before the Carolina game, I would have said we beat them by 3, and now I think that they will handle us like they did the first time we played them. Similar and that was a loss that we lost.
Like 28-12, 33-12 or something.
They are giving up 15 points a game. I think that we maybe score 13. I think we scored 13 I think that our defense will play a little bit better. We'll rise to the occasion, but I'm going to go with 24-13. I think the 49ers will win. Unfortunately, I don't like to pick against my Hawks. You guys know me. I'm a season ticket holder, and I luckily will not be at that game because that would be a long ride home.
That would be a long ride home.
If we win, though, I will be very upset.
It won't be a long ride home. We'll stay longer.
Yeah, we would have partied.
We would have partied for sure. But yeah, I've got to say, I don't know. I mean, something tells me that we got beat pretty bad. They're coming off a high. Short week. I mean, I think we're going to surprise some people.
Really? What's your prediction of the score?
I think score is going to be. I'm going to go right now 27-24 Hawks.
20.
I'm picking with my heart. But I'm going 27.
I like it. If they win,
I just think everybody's on the Purdy train right now. It is Purdy. But I just think we're going to give him a little bit sense of reality, and I think we're going to.
Well, let's not forget he was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. I hope that we make him irrelevant in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the goal.
But if we try and make them one-dimensional and run the ball, they're going to be able to run the ball. So that's the scary part.
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just kidding.
You think we're going to be able to just all of a sudden? Well, they did it before. I mean, our first 3 games of the season were terrible.
They shut down Saquon, but they have Daniel Jones throwing, so they know that they can allow him to. But
well, we got Purdy throwing, so maybe we just gear up. You think that they would have done that against Sam
Debo.
Darnold,
They're not going to have Debo. Doesn't seem like that matters.
Why didn't we stack up the run and stop Sam Darnold?
See, that's what makes me really. That just makes me upset. But I think we're gonna surprise some people. So
another thing,
my words.
I want to talk to you because I know you're a golf guy. Did you watch the match?
I watched the match.
Did you?
Watched the match. Oh yeah.
Did you? Did you see the video that they made against Tiger and Rory? The guys that Rory. Sorry.
Rory.
We're just ironing out all the wrinkles here on the podcast, just getting ready for our second one. But yeah, I think they were drinking. Yeah. And they were like, I can't believe you got beat by us, Tiger. They were kind of just attacking Tiger.
Jordan and JT.
JT, yeah.
I thought it's always good to watch Tiger, of course, but I don't know, the match is always it always kind of is a letdown, I think, a little bit when it comes to I always get excited to watch it, and it never really lives up to the hype, but just because Tiger's kind of he's a serious player. He doesn't really, when he gets in his mode, he doesn't entertain very much, but I would say Jordan Spieth, I mean, he is his first one, and he is awesome on that. I mean, he's entertaining the whole time, doesn't focus too much. He's perfect for the match. I had a good time watching him, and had a good time watching Tiger. But I will say, Tiger looked like he was walking just fine out there. So I'm not sure what he said when he says he can't walk. I'm not sure what.
Well, he's probably making more money doing the match than he does at the PGA Tour because he's not in LIV. Those guys are throwing money around like crazy. I mean, I know you got asked to be on the LIV Tour.
I did. I turned it down. Yeah. I wanted to focus.
You wanted to actually golf. You got invited to be the water boy, but anyway.
Wow. Let's talk about how, Tiger says that he can hit any golf shot he wants, but he can't walk.
Yes.
And we all agree that you can walk, but you can't hit any golf shot.
That's correct. I'm actually really great at walking. Golfing.
You're almost as great at walking as Tiger is at golf.
He probably golfs better than I walk.
It might be, but you still walk really well.
But I golf better than he walks. Wouldn't you say? I think I golf better than he walks.
I think you do. You're right. If you were to flip that and say, it's close, though. It's close. Depends on the day.
I don't know. I don't go to any Perkins, but maybe Tiger could help us out a little more on that. Maybe we shouldn't go there. We'll save that for another podcast.
But, if you're watching this, which you probably are. One
other thing I want to talk about is we have some Zags games that we're going to be going to. We dominated a golf tournament. It's not a big deal. We'll talk about that later. But
use a lot more pencil.
The Zags are going to play a tough Alabama team on Saturday who just took down Houston, and Houston was beating all the number ones out there. So what do you think the Zags' chances are Saturday against Alabama? They're very athletic.
What did we just play?
Very athletic.
Who did we just play? Not Xavier. We played, the last
Purdue.
Purdue, but I can't remember the team we barely just beat.
The Vandals? We might have just barely beat the Vandals.
But, I feel like the Zags are they're at a place where they need some guards to show up. They need They need somebody to show up.
Well,
I don't know if they're going to be able to get
Texas, they beat Texas, Alabama. So Texas, I think that's who they beat. But Texas is playing hot. But did you hear about their head coach?
I saw it a little bit. I don't know much about it.
He choked out a family member and got arrested just last night.
You know what that means? I think that means that we deserve that as a win now. They need a loss. Flip it around.
Clearly. I mean, that guy was on steroids. He's probably in a rage, roid rage.
I don't know much about that, but
he has 3 kids with another marriage. He got remarried. I think he was engaged, and he choked out a family member and had to be called for 3rd degree, whatever.
Man, in all seriousness,
that's rough.
That is sad.
So hopefully there's some forgiveness in that family. He can get some help and keep coaching, and they don't just punish people for making mistakes. Although he needs to get some help. You just don't choke out family members. So.
Not a good role model for sure.
But so obviously we're in business. We talked a lot about sports. You being a realtor, I think our economy always rolls on what real estate is doing and what's happening. And obviously the real estate market isn't what it was the last couple of years. But give us some feedback on what you expect this next year.
Real estate market?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm curious.
Are you?
Well, absolutely.
Curious to see some market stats on Instagram?
I need more business too. So, Zach?
I think it's a market where, rates are going to stay relatively where they are. Maybe go down a tad, but not much. And I think you're going to see prices continue to sort of equal out a little bit. And not that means it's going to be more affordable, because rates are still going to be high and monthly payments will still be higher for people. But I think you're just going to see, pretty stable rates and the market continuing to kind of equal out a little bit between a buyer's market and a seller's market. So if you're a buyer, there's going to be opportunity to get something either down in price or, to negotiate repairs, stuff like that we haven't been able to in a while.
Right.
You can actually do that. And for a seller, there's still opportunity. You just have to make sure you get your house prepared to sell in the market.
Are you still accepting multiple buyers and contracts on a house up to $100,000 over asking? Is that
we're
still
always
a thing?
Accepting that, but it just depends if we get it. But it's definitely not a thing right now. No, unless you really priced your house well and had it ready and you were in a lower price.
Those days are gone. I don't think we're ever going to see that again. Anomaly, right? I think that's everybody can agree.
Just kind of like Russell Wilson in Seattle. Those days are gone.
Those days are long.
We're never going to see that again. But it was something special.
It was. I mean, we had 10 years of winning football. I mean, I know we only made it to 2 Super Bowls. We won 1. We won't talk about the second one. That one still stings.
Do you know how many Super Bowls did the Niners get to during that time?
1.
1. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you. 1. Yeah, it was good to know.
Well, the lights went out, and the Ravens ended up taking them. I know they blame it on the lights at the Superdome.
There's always something. Always seems to be something.
Well, actually, they were in 2 Super Bowls, weren't they? Garoppolo was there against the Chiefs and lost.
Yeah, they were in 2. So, but they haven't won any of them.
It's hard to remember a Super Bowl when the team's been in it when they've lost. No one remembers them.
It's hard to remember when the Niners were in a Super Bowl because I tuned out those games for sure.
I didn't even watch.
But in all, 49ers are. I think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. They're obviously better than the Hawks.
I will tell you,
I'm not going to start that beef with anyone.
Their defense, I've seen it since last year. They play like they're in the Super Bowl, like so over the top aggressive. It's impressive.
They're scary.
But we swept them last year, and I think I know you don't think so, but I think we're going to get swept this year, unfortunately.
I'm calling it with my heart a little bit, and I'm hoping I'm coming back Monday next week and hoping.
If they win this game, it takes away all those close losses we've had this year, and I hope that we can ride that into the playoffs and play a team like the Vikings, who obviously just can't beat anybody now.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
How do you go into Buffalo and beat Buffalo and then go into Detroit and lose to the Lions? I don't care how hot they are. I'm sorry. I can't get off of this.
You got some hate for the Lions.
No, I feel bad for Lions fans. I mean, there was a time when they would say, go Tigers and take the Lions with you. So that was a real thing. But I mean, could you imagine every Thanksgiving there's traditions, right? Man. You go to the Lions game, you're having some turkey.
That's one of my favorite traditions.
And you're talking about the loss, right? And nothing was different this year. They lost to Buffalo.
Nothing was different.
And they had them. They had Buffalo beat. And they let them go on a 3rd or not. I don't even know.
I'm not sure Lions fans would have known what to do if they would have won that game.
Right, that takes you out of tradition.
Yeah, I mean that's not cool.
It's tradition to lose the game.
I think the better they get, I think they're gonna get flexed out of Thanksgiving.
Hasn't happened yet.
They're gonna take them out.
That's the one thing.
They're gonna start flexing the Broncos into Thanksgiving more because they know that they're gonna lose every year.
I don't mind watching the Lions. It's that early game, starts at 9:30. That's good tradition. It's the Cowboy game. I hate the Cowboys.
Man,
I'm sorry. We wanted to have a positive podcast. But
I mean, but there's
we
some
are.
teams that you
We're
just
not going to be
cannot
haters,
stay positive,
but
you know,
the Cowboys.
That's 30. So you guys
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up.
That's all we need to say. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott throwing a pick with like 4 minutes left on his own 5-yard line or whatever. The Texans didn't take advantage of it, but man, I just don't think they have what it takes.
Well, that's why the Texans have
Niners
one win.
The Niners are gonna. They will if they face the Niners in the playoffs. It's gonna be a 40-point beat.
Here's what we have. We have something in common with the Texans. They have
Yep.
one win, and we do too. This is our first podcast. We want to thank you for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
And we're both gonna have a top 3 draft pick.
Zach, thank you for that. We want to sign off, say God bless to
Thank you,
everybody.
guys.
See you next week.
Go Hawks!